biopsies are taken from an adrenal mass from a 60-year-old female. There's no other relevant information. It was previously seen as a malignant tumor of unidentified origin. As you can see here, there's extensive necrosis, and the cells are pretty much atypical with anaplastic features. You can see here cells with these pink blobs, and some of them have this horseshoe appearance, like this one here, or this one here, that is close to what has been described for the ALCL or the anaplastic large cell lymphomas. So those are the main morphological viewpoints. Here is the CD20, which is negative. Pancytokeratin is negative, which helps us exclude carcinomas. And CD3 is dimly positive, highlighting T cells, part of the reactive component of this lesion, and also neoplastic cells. As you can see here, some of the small cells are CD3 positive, and most of the neoplastic cells are positive too, but it's dimly positive. CD45 was positive in the screening phase of the study, which obviously lead us out of the carcinoma hypothesis. PAX5 as well as the CD20 is negative, helping us define that this is not a B-cell neoplasm or lymphoma. CD5 is extensively positive. Remember that CD5 was the original the original T-cell marker before CD3 was discovered. And CD10 is negative, which helps us understand that this is not of a follicular origin or differentiation, as well as Bcl6 is negative too, as you can see here. Granzyme is negative, with that help us set this case out of the cytotoxic spectrum. Lysozyme, not shown here, is also negative. Myeloperoxidase is positive here in the periphery of the necrosis, as is expected. And there's a lot of background in the tumor, but actually I think is just non-informative because of that background, but is not a malignant myeloid lesion. CD138 is negative, with that help us exclude plasma cell origin. CD30 is pretty important here because, as I showed you before, there's an anaplastic morphology in it, but it is CD30 negative, and CD30 is almost mandatory for the diagnosis. Almost, I say, because there are obviously some typical cases, but we don't run after zebras in this case. It's CD30 negative. I don't feel comfortable calling it the face value as an ALCL. And also, we will see that ALK is also negative, which moves us a little bit farther from that. Ki67 is highly positive. I would say that about 80 to 90% of the cells, which indicates that it's a high-grade lymphoma for sure. And CD4 is extensively positive, that compared with CD8 that we are going to see next, negative indicates that is a mature T-cell neoplasm, is indicative of clonality, and is not primitive also because CD1A is negative, as you can see here. CD7 is negative, which is an aberrancy, indicating also that this is a T-cell neoplasm for sure. And CD2 is preserved, indicating the lineage of T cells. As I told you before, ALK is negative, as you can see here. CD56, that is helping us to exclude NK origin and also plasmacytoid dendritic cells, is negative. And this is the CD163, which is marking and highlighting some histiocytes that are for sure part of the reactive component of the inflammatory microenvironment in this lesion. So this case was signed as a Ptcl NOS, meaning a non otherwise specified peripheral T-cell lymphoma, with an annotation and some comments that the features are really anaplastic and adding the necrosis, the extraneural involvement that is quite rare in this adrenal mass for a T-cell lymphoma uh, uh, indicates that it's a high-grade tumor and it needs some workup to rule out systemic disease. And in those terms, it's valuable to let you know that about in a study that I found that I don't have the citation here with me from primary adrenal lymphomas, most of the lymphomas were of B-cell origin, and only about 7% of those cases were T-cell origin. So this is a rarity. Okay, this closed the case. I hope that you may have learned some lessons out of it. Thank you.